Brittany Cufaude is the founder of Joyful Classrooms, a learning resource space for parents and educators. Brittany, thank you for joining us this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Let's start with, where are all the kids?
It's a great question. I think it's a difficult one to figure out. Some have surmised that folks are putting their children in private schools if they can afford it. The statistics certainly support that folks with higher levels of socioeconomic status are withdrawing at higher rates, but that's not universally true. So it remains a little bit of a mystery and something that we can't completely understand based in data where everybody has gone. But I think we can make some good assumptions about the why students have withdrawn and why their parents would support such a thing.
You mentioned private schools, Brittany, but it seems like parents are getting creative as well. We know of charter schools, but there are other kinds as well, like homeschool charters. What is that?
Yes, so there are homeschool charters, and you can also apply as a parent to get a private homeschool affidavit.
Okay.
I know that in the beginning of school closure, yes, it was difficult. We were trying to keep students who were originally enrolled in public schools, so it was difficult to get into a public charter. The critical difference between the two is that if you enroll in a homeschool charter, you receive funding through the state. And then, and it can provide, like you were just mentioning, a lovely field trip. It can provide funds for field trips, the curricula of your choice for your children based on student needs. And so there's really a plethora of options for the folks who are deciding, you know what, I got used to having my kids at home and I'm going to keep them here.
And there's local supplements and enrichment programs as well, yes?
Yes, I was just speaking to a girlfriend of mine. We were teachers together, colleagues, and she has opened the Wild Roots Learning Center, which is up in Folsom. And I just want to give her a shout out. It's amazing. And she is really meeting this need. Now, as a mom who still has her son at home, delightful, wonderful, loving it all day long. But also it could be fun to have him do things like outdoor learning or after school enrichment.
Sure.
Wild Roots is really supporting homeschool parents throughout the day with licensed teachers to support parents.
For parents listening to you right now and have been going over this in their mind and wondering if they should send their kids back to public school, what are their other options? What is your advice for them to get started?
Well, I would really say to explore the pros and cons. And in order to do that, I would certainly speak with somebody who understands the nature of education on both sides. For example, private school, the biggest barrier is going to be the cost for that. And then there are also some drawbacks. The thing about being in a public school institution is that it is both supported, funded, and protected by or as a public institution. So things like special education and meeting the needs of students with special needs, we don't necessarily always see that as sort of evenly in private schools and charter schools. Now that's a generalization, of course, but I would say you really need to know your resources. You need to stay informed.
Stay informed, Brittany, especially because it's changing, it seems, day by day as more and more options open up. And as you just mentioned, we've got the Wild Roots Learning Center that is also a new option. So really important to know your options, stay informed, and check with your resources that are trusted like you. Brittany Cufaude with joyfulclassrooms.com. Thank you so much for being with us this morning and talking to us about the different options that we may consider as parents and for our families in the upcoming school year. Always good to see you, Brittany. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Take care.